All right, we're about to dive into one of the most amazing mystical works ever written, Rumi's Masnavi. Now, forget everything you think poetry is. The Masnavi isn't just a book, it's more like a map, a guide for the soul's journey from feeling separate and alone all the way back to divine union. So let's get started. Rumi kicks things off with this really powerful idea. He's saying that we all look at each other and think we understand, but we're only seeing things from our own point of view. It's like we hear the music someone is playing, but we have no idea why they're playing it. We miss the secret of the musician. And that one thought right there sets the stage for this whole thing. It's a quest to look past the surface and find the hidden reality that's all around us. So our journey begins, but not with a word. It starts with a sound that Rumi says holds the secret to, well, pretty much everything. Let's listen to the reed song.
See, this isn't just any music, it's the sound of longing. The reed was once part of a whole, part of the reed bed. Then it was cut away, and now, as a flute, all it can do is sing about that separation. And Rumi's big point here is, that's our story. The human soul, he says, was separated from its divine home, and our whole life is basically one long song, a deep, deep yearning to go back.
But get this, Rumi completely flips our idea of what longing is. It's not some sad, empty feeling. He calls it a fire. This isn't just sorrow. It's the fire of love. It's this powerful, active energy burning inside us, pulling us and driving us back to where we came from. And right away, we had our first big paradox. Rumi says the soul and the body are completely intertwined. They're not hidden from each other at all. And yet, none of us is allowed to actually see the soul. I mean, think about that for a second. The very core of who you are is right here, right now, but you can't perceive it with your senses. It's like the ultimate game of hide and seek happening inside of you. So if our true self is hidden, then what is all this? The world we see around us. Well, that brings us to the second stage of our journey, learning to navigate the world of appearances and dealing with the biggest illusion of them all, our own ego. This is such an incredible metaphor, especially for today. We think of ourselves as these powerful, independent beings, right? Lions. We work so hard on our image, our personal brand, to show everyone how strong and in control we are. But Rumi says, no, you're not a lion. You're a lion painted on a banner. You're flapping around, you look like you're moving, but you're only being moved by a wind you can't even see. So you're probably starting to see the pattern here, this constant duality. The Masnavi is always pushing us over and over to look past the shell and find the pearl. Look past the banner lion to feel the unseen wind. Look past the body to connect with the soul. The world we see is just a shadow, a signpost pointing to a much deeper reality. So what's the big roadblock? What's stopping us from seeing this deeper reality? Rumi gives it a name, the nafs, or the carnal self. And he does not pull any punches. He calls it a dragon, an insatiable hell that could drink entire oceans and still be on fire with desire. This is the ego, that part of us that's desperately attached to the world of forms and just refuses to let go. And to show us how this ego dragon works, Rumi tells this brilliant short little story. It's almost comical. There's a guy who goes to a tattoo artist because he wants to look tough and brave. So he asks for a huge, fearsome lion to be tattooed on his back. You know, a symbol of the power he wishes he had.
But the second the artist starts with the needle, the guy yelps in pain. Ow! What part are you working on? The artist says, the belly. The man shouts, let the lion have no belly. So the artist moves to another spot. And now? The head? Leave off the head. Finally, the tattoo master just gets fed up and throws down his needle. The man wanted the image of power, but he couldn't stand the tiniest bit of pain it took to actually create it.
And that's where the story turns right back on us. Rumi is asking, what's the lion you want to become? And what transformation are you avoiding because you're afraid of the pain, the discipline, the effort, the letting go of old habits that it would take to actually build that strength inside you? So how do we defeat this dragon of the ego? How do we find the strength to endure the needle? Rumi's answer is actually pretty simple, and it's the force that drives this whole epic: love. For Rumi, love is not just a feeling, not even close. It's a cosmic force. It's the power that can literally defy gravity, that can make a solid mountain just get up and start dancing. This love is the only power strong enough to overcome the dead weight of our ego and the material world. Now, Rumi often pits love against what he calls partial reason, which is basically our everyday logical brain. And just look at the comparison. He says reason can be a shackle, tying us to what we already know, only letting us see the surface of things. Love, though, love is what lets us leap into the unknown. It doesn't follow a path, it makes a new one, and it sees the inward reality that reason just can't process.
But, and this is a really big but, Rumi is crystal clear about this. This path of love is dangerous. You absolutely cannot walk it alone. He insists that you have to seek out a guide, a perfect one. Why? Because your ego, that hidden enemy, is so treacherous. As he says, what might be a cure for a master could actually be poison for a student. You need someone who knows the way.
And now we've arrived at the final stage, the ultimate goal of this entire journey. And it turns out it's not about reaching some new place, but about learning to see with entirely new eyes. The whole journey has just been about chipping away at illusions, right? So the final destination, it's the complete dissolution of the false self, the ego, that's been blocking our view this whole time. It's not about gaining more knowledge, it's about losing the very identity that separates us from the divine. The mystical term for this is Fana, or annihilation. Rumi describes it as becoming not being in the presence of his being. It's like a candle flame in the bright sunlight. The flame doesn't go out, but its individual light is just absorbed into the greater light. And practically, that just means letting go of the need to be important, the need to be right, the need to be seen. It's the freedom that comes from no longer having to defend that banner lion. This is one of the most powerful lines in the entire Masnavi. The only thing that's truly real and eternal is the divine. Everything else is temporary, just a fleeting form. So Rumi's advice is pretty radical. He says the only way to find real, lasting existence is to stop seeking your own separate existence and just merge into that divine essence. So, what are we then? After all this, Rumi says our true identity, our whole purpose, is perception. We are an I. Everything else, our bodies, our thoughts, our identities, is just worthless skin. And what's the function of this true I? It only has one: to see the beloved, to witness the divine reality in every single thing.
And so the Masnavi leaves us with this final echoing question. After the reed's lament, the banner lions, the fire of love, the dissolution of the self, what's left? Only an I. And what that I sees is up to us. What would you see if you stopped looking at the world and started letting the divine see through you?